Hey guys, Zane from the Infinite Jukebox here with another quick album review, and today I wanted to talk about the new Mary Halvorson record, Cloudward. American jazz guitarist Mary Halvorson has been praised by a lot of jazz outlets, a lot of notable figures and individuals within jazz as being one of the best representatives of where the genre is at in the modern day, and honestly, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. I mean, with influences from free improv legends like Derek Bailey to mentorship under the absolute jazz icon Anthony Braxton, she is an interesting figure with a unique personality and a definitive singular style that seems to constantly meld together traditional chamber jazz with much more genreless abstractions in a way that is undeniably hers and seemingly is not being replicated by anyone else at the moment. For the past couple of years, especially, she's just been killing it album after album, and Cloudward is yet another strong addition to a massive, already excellent catalog. There are plenty of subtle, sweet, melodic moments coming from Halvorson here, and those moments do shine in their own right, but I would say that where she truly stands out is where she completely steps away from that and just does her own unique thing entirely. Desiderata, for example, sees Halvorson really crank up the treble and also smoothly increase the distortion of her guitar work in a way that is entirely unexpected within the context of Cloudward, but certainly welcome in terms of actual execution. It fits the album perfectly, it makes for a unique track on a record like this, it makes for an interesting passage that doesn't necessarily define the entire listening experience either, and honestly, it's moments like those that really do show off why Mary Halvorson is such a beloved figure within the jazz world at the moment. She's constantly taking different ideas both from and from the outside of jazz and putting them together in a way that sees her combine a lot of different influences until finally they come together to make something that is entirely unique and undeniably, again, hers and hers alone. I won't comment on anything like this now in the present moment because obviously Halvorson is still incredibly active. She is still an incredibly active performer, but I'm just saying that, say, 30, 40 years from now when, I'm an old man still on YouTube or dead, one of the two, don't be shocked when people refer to her as a virtuosic guitarist because honestly, that level of quality is what's on display here. That being said, that virtuosic quality is actually something that ends up highlighting the only real noticeable flaw of this record, which is that some of the compositions within Cloudward don't really do any favors in highlighting the guitar work here. And now, obviously, a full band is performing on this album, but it's also a Mary Halvorson album, and I'm going into it expecting Mary Halvorson, and that happens to be reflected in the guitar work. For example, you have the track Collapsing Mouth, which has some lovely guitar work strewn about it, but it's honestly hard to tell at times in the way that it sort of blends in with the trumpet in several different passages, and that makes up the majority of the song, if I'm being totally honest. It's not a bad track, it's a very well-composed, well-performed song. It's just that the thing that I'm looking for and expecting from it isn't there, and it's not being replaced by something that's equally excellent. But even with that aside, the rest of the band on Cloudward are absolutely phenomenal and just about as talented as the woman whose name is printed on the album cover. In fact, this album is a reunion of sorts, as the band on here is the same band that recorded with Halvorson on her 2022 record, Amaryllis, one of her most discussed records to date, and I mean, there's a reason that record is one of her most discussed, because it's phenomenal and has great performances from every corner of the band, and hey, the same thing can be said here. Patricia Brennan's vibraphone performances here are integral to the actual sonic structure of the record, as they add a certain brightness that the album would definitely lack without her work here. You also have great work in the brass section here from trumpeter Adam O'Farrell, as well as trombonist Jacob Garchick. They play an important role here in delivering that particular aspect of your average jazz band. You also have a really phenomenal bassist in the form of Nick Dunstan, and I think you would be hard-pressed to find a better bass solo in jazz, in recent memory at least, than that you will find on the album closer, specifically in its intro, Ultramarine. Just phenomenal bass work in the first couple minutes of that song, absolutely outstanding stuff, and I'm not biased at all. It's not like I play bass or anything. It's not like that's what I listen to when an album from the jazz genre plays. What are you, crazy? Drummer Tomas Fujiwara is definitely the most nuanced performer here, and by nuanced, I mean generally unnotable, but even then, still, strong performances, integral role as the backbone, and I think without Fujiwara's percussion work as the sole provider of percussion here, that the rest of the band would be pretty lost and directionless, so even then, I can't really complain. Every single performer on Cloudward weaves together with the next in a way that is impressively fluid, while only occasionally taking away from the specific individual that you mainly want to hear from on this record, none other than Mary Halvorson. And you know what? Mary Halvorson is rightfully seen as one of the biggest and best names in jazz at the moment for a multitude of reasons, and as Cloudward provides, it's another addition to an already excellent discography that I would say certainly deserves that credit. There is an outstanding collection of uniquely interesting and deeply experimental, unique works that are out there with Mary Halvorson's name attached to them, and this is yet another one, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to give this record 3.5 stars out of 5. And with that being said, that is the end of this quick album review. I've been Zane from the Infinite Jukebox. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.